So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 between PuckChamp and Team Unique. PuckChamp obviously one game ahead after that first one. And just wasn't like a complete stomp, but they definitely handled Team Unique in that one. And showing that they can definitely put a good run in for this game. So we'll see what Team Unique are going to try and adjust for this game number 2. Maybe they might ban some of the heroes that Team Unique, PuckChamp played with that previous one. Maybe the Pangolier, perhaps. To be honest, I was kind of surprised that the Pangolier had as much of an impact as he did. I thought the Rupture from the Bloodseeker just screwed him over way too hard. That his game would have just been non-existent, but apparently not. I think he's able to just do his own thing and carry on.
10 seconds.
So it looks like all the bans so far are pretty much the same as game number 1. Nothing's been adjusted as of yet. I mean, maybe Team Unique will probably change things up now. Seems how they've not actually immediately banned. Or no, they will. They will still get rid of the Cottle. Obviously, one of the higher priority heroes so far in this patch can either be played as a position 4-5, like a really strong farm and support, or you're a super greedy mid player and to get that crazy Dagon build. Either one works.
10 seconds.
Can't remember what it was that PuckChamp banned in the first game alongside with the Omni Knight. I think it was the Lena, wasn't it? Yeah, they banned the Lena. We'll see if that's what they're going to go with again. I mean, first pick is into the priority of Team Unique this game. I think it's the same as last game as well. Oh no, they had double pick last game because they went Bloodseeker into Phoenix in response to seeing the Pangolier pickup. I mean, quite a lot of reserve time being used up there for PuckChamp. Actually deciding to ban the Pango themselves. So not going to make sure that makes an appearance to Team Unique. But immediately, the Clinks is the grab there for Unique. This hero's had some really varied results. Like, obviously when the 7.3 patch first came out and his skills have been changed, his win rate plummeted to like 42% or something like that. It was really terrible, but that was mainly due to the fact that obviously it's a brand new meta, brand new patch, brand new skills. It takes a little bit of time for people to work into the hero and find out its niche. But I mean, it is definitely considered one of the more powerful heroes so far in this patch, if you can actually play it right. Team Unique have actually grabbed it 2 times before in this current patch. They've won both games of it. So we'll see if they're going to be able to keep that going and take a third victory for it. But instead, PuckChamp, with their first pickups, go for the Bloodseeker Lion. So sort of similar to what Team Unique had in their off lane. You've got the Bloodseeker pops down the Bloodright. But then this time, rather than having telekinesis chucking back in, you'll have the Lion, which just gets like a stun into a Hex to secure the silence pure damage hit that way. So already a pretty scary lane to play up against. I assume this is going to be a mid Clinks. I think that's just where this hero has to end up. I think I've seen it once where the Clinks was a position 1 and it didn't have a terrible time, but it definitely didn't have. It definitely wasn't great, and it got handled kind of badly. So yeah, probably already the hero for FN secured in this second game. So now PuckChamp, they do have the opportunity to actually cherry pick their mid laner in response to it. But obviously, there's still a set of 3 bans from Team Unique to come out before that. So maybe they might ban out some of the heroes that perform really well against this hero first. But really thinking about what they want to grab up as their second here. I mean, it's not like you can sort of security lane pairing because you've already got your mid. I'm actually going to go with the Abaddon. Okay. So that is definitely going to help out in the safe lane for them. Whoever gets like sort of blood right into the stun, you'll have the Abaddon there to chuck the Aphotic Shield, purge away the stun, and allow their carry to hopefully just walk out of the radius in time to avoid all the damage. To see if that's actually going to end up working out or not. And also immediately ban out the PL. I know PL, if it gets on top of the Clinks, is pretty disruptive, but if you can get like a decent barrage of your arrows, you can actually shred him and Illusions pretty well. Is this live? Yeah, well, as live as I can possibly make it. I've got the 15-minute Dota TV delay, so as long as if you don't mind having a 15-minute delay, then yeah, it's live. But even still, welcome to the show, amazing as it is. Beastmaster also taken out there from PuckChamp. This is a very strong utility position 3 utility hero. I'm not sure how a lot of people have been responding to like the Helm of the Overlord changes. Like, it was really popular over the first few days of the patch, but it's really quite dropped off a lot now. We don't see it like every other game like you used to. It was either a Beastmaster or a Lycan. Both of those two heroes fantastic. We're getting it. Where you see without delay, you got to go watch the Dota Hub Russian one, but they only have it in Russian. So if you have to have an English stream, I believe I'm like the only one. So it depends. If you can listen to Russian, then yeah, go to the RU Hub, which I believe they got it live there. IO also gets banned out from Team Unique. Obviously, worked out fantastically in that first game for Crit and Ducalis. Let's see what else they're going to respond with. Can I give you the link? Yeah, sure. Yeah, cheeky follow for a link drop. That's a good trade, mate. It's a good trade. There you go. That should be the link. Cheers for the follow anyway, dude. Tide also gets removed. So PuckChamp just purely focusing on like big tanky offlane cores with a decent stun utility ultimate. So I guess they must have some sort of plan in mind of heroes they just do not want to lane up against these guys. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, just off the top of my head. There's a few varying heroes that could possibly be the hit pick. They do decide to take out the Lycan there from Unique. I guess the series that could deal with his wolves relatively easily. So it makes sense for those bans. If that's why Team Unique decided to take away the Lycan, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that did just throw a spanner in the work and PuckChamp aren't going to get what they wanted. But I mean, Tidehunter has been a prioritized hero for Team Unique in this current patch, so it definitely makes sense to remove it. Not sure what other main position 3 that they've actually been playing with. They decided to ban out the Invoker and then pick up the Lina. It looks like they've ran the Legion Commander before. I'm not sure how that really pans out in this current setup. I don't think it's too great at the moment. Maybe it might change and they might want to go for that LC pick. It all depends. But let's see what Unique's actually going to respond here after seeing that Lina pickup.
5 seconds.
They'll probably grab their other support now, I imagine. Actually, no, they're going to go for the Sand King. And pairing it up with the Rubik yet again. So we're going to see it into the hands of Bigman. Again, a decent amount of spells already to steal. Rupture, both the stuns from Lion Lina, both their ultimates as well. Fantastic source of quick burst damage. Especially if like the Sand King's going to go for a Veil of Discord again. Just to ramp up any sort of magic damage output that they do want to kick. I can't remember. The Clinks is Sear and Arrows Barrage, whatever the hell it's called. It's still physical damage, right? It's not magical damage now, is it? I'm pretty sure it's still physical. Seems kind of weird if they change over to magical. So that won't get amplified, but even still. Between the two of them, we will kick out a fair chunk. So I wonder if this is actually going to be a support lane or if they are going to run it as the core. I think it probably will put it as a 2 so far. Especially since how they immediately snapped it after getting the Invoker pickup themselves. And then they've actually gone for the Slark grab. Okay. So that means if this is a mid laner then they've left like their position 5 or 4 for the last pick. Not something you see very often. Sometimes it does end up working out.
10 seconds.
Always seems interesting to me to see that role get the final pick. So obviously it just never ever happens in your pubs. Even if like the support costs 2 gold and the rest of his team because he doesn't pick his hero fast enough, people mad. They flame. They get angry. So to get last pick, madness, man, madness. I mean, yeah, on paper, you would assume that this Lina is for the mid and that they're looking for a different support. So what do Unique actually ban out? They decide to remove the Silencer. I don't know how Silencer actually plays as a support currently. I know I saw a couple of videos of Topson playing mid Silencer where you get like an Aghanim Scepter first item and your last word is like this big AoE spell with really short cooldown and it seems super strong. So maybe that was their thinking. Because, I mean, this could very well be a 5 Lion and a position for Lina. Or vice versa, but I'd assume it'd be in those roles if these are going to be the support duo. Meanwhile, I'd assume position 1. I think Clinks just still makes sense to go into the mid lane. I mean, PuckChamp do ban out the Lesh, so they are thinking this is going to be a position 1 Clinks rather than a mid Clinks, so it could very well be. It could be neither one. I think it just works better getting that like extra experience early on. Because when he gets his ultimate, that's when Clinks becomes actually quite powerful. Bumps his HP up by a shit ton. Real ridiculous. So, one final ban to come out here from PuckChamp. Maybe they might remove the Puck yet again. If they are worried that it's still a mid lane pickup. As they are actually lacking in some disables. All they've got is Telekinesis Burrow Strike right now. Meanwhile, PuckChamp have got Earth Spike, Hex, LSA, Into the Leap. They've got a lot of control. Actually, Snapfire is the final pickup here. So is this going to be FN on the Snapfire for the mid lane then? This is quite interesting. It's not. I haven't seen it for a long time. It was super popular like... Oh, Jesus. I think it was like nearly a year ago now. It was just everywhere. It was really strong. You just go for like a really early Ags, and you just end up chucking your teammates around, and it was pretty strong. I don't know if that's going to be the case this game, because it's not really anyone that you want to just toss in there. I suppose there's the Sand King, but it's a Sand King, so he's going to eventually have to just build his own Blink Dagger anyway. So there's not really much point in getting the Ags. SK mid? Yeah, it could be an SK mid. They've not picked up yet, so maybe they're still deciding. Both the supports have grabbed theirs. Maybe they're just not quite sure yet. Well, yeah, I think Clinks has to be the position 1 at this point. And I think Sand King just works better as an off lane. I mean, Snapfire, Rubik playing up against Slark Venge. I mean, it's a decent amount of burst damage to try and get the kill onto the Venge, but I don't know. Seems weird. Yeah, okay, so they go for FN on the Snapfire, so it's mid snap, SK on the off lane. Everyone else, yeah, pretty much all on the roles you would expect. Okay. I mean, it's not like there's actually that huge amount of team fight coming out from PuckChamp here. They actually have 0 big team fight ultimates. I suppose you'd count Rupture as one, but it's not really one of those big AoE ones that you like to rely on. Meanwhile, Unique, they do have Epicenter as well as Mortimer's Kisses. They've got a huge amount of magic damage. But then, mind you, you've got the same amount of magic damage coming out from the side of PuckChamp just from the line and Lina alone. Maybe the Venge to some degree, but obviously it's just going to be an Ags rush on the Venge, which is pretty standard in this current meta. Just a support that's meant to die and still useful after the after dying is pretty strong, pretty damn strong. I suppose the benefit of having a Clinks against a Slark is that obviously when the Slark pops his ultimate, he can't avoid the barrage damage from space, so he'll still get hit quite hard by that. But if Crit can actually get on top of Clinks, he'll probably shred him super fast. Unless the Clinks has his ultimate like level 3 and he's eating a fat ass creep. Can you still do like the Helmet Dominator play where you get Helmet Dominator on one player, you get a creep and then you get Clinks to eat it and then it gives him even more damage? Is that a thing? Is that still a thing? I think it's still a thing. I hope so. But even still, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 2 between PuckChamp and Team Unique. And it looks like PuckChamp have gone for a smoke straight away again. Looks like they want to try and get a ward on the opposing side of the river. There's no puck to actually beat them to the lane this time. So it will probably end up being successful.
Well, that went bad quickly.
Usually getting off to the side. Unique to settle for the high ground ward.
Hear you.
Oh, crit. Well, they just see the tree randomly cut down, so they realise he's there. Well, actually, he just ends up popping out the smoke anyway. So I think that's probably going to be tell to the fact that they've put a ward down, because there's not much other reasons why you would go for a smoke straight off the out of the well just to get to the mid lane that fast. Because I mean, it's already ran out and it's only like still another 50 seconds. So I imagine, yeah, there'll probably be a couple of sentries bought out.
It's a surprise.
I think you could probably assume that seems how the smoke would have ran out, and the vision on the side of Unique is only showing off the Slark. You'd probably see someone else if they were like going for some sort of aggressive smoke play. So yeah, I think you could probably surmise that the Observer Ward is going to be in this sort of vicinity. That's what my big brain tells me anyway. I know how big my brain is. Humongous, mate. Astral already blocking out the camp. Is that actually when the camp is? I don't think it was that wide.
You guys.
I thought the camp was literally just past that tree. Is that right?
Muốn giết một con rồng máu phải chạy thành sông.
Don't know.
458 có đai bắt ở đây.
I'll find out in a second when the game actually begins so I can check the barriers.
Chill, ты вообще тут?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely leaning towards the lineup of...
Помогите,
I don't know, actually, who am I leaning towards? I thought I was leaning towards Unique, but I don't know.
Помогите.
Seems like there's quite a lot of control coming out from PuckChamp this game. Like, they've got disables on 4 different heroes. Well, 3 disables and 1 leash. Sort of a disable. Sometimes. So I'm liking that. Meanwhile, yeah, Team Unique just reliant on the Telekinesis and Burrow Strike to actually have any sort of control on people. I mean, there is also actually the cookie, from the Snapfire. Not as reliable, as you have to be somewhat in the vicinity. It can be quite easy to read, especially for crit. Because obviously, it's just instant disables that he has to worry about, so he can't actually get his Dark Pact off. So, I mean, it could be Telekinesis from the Fog or even a Burrow Strike, something like that. And they could try and chain him. It's very selective.
A doodle for the ages.
We'll see if Space is going to go for another Super Early Lincoln's play. Probably not. I hope not. I mean, there's definitely a lot of disables yet again. Magic Missile, the Hex as well. I think Lincoln's even stopped Surf Spike, which I always found weird. Like, seems that it's not technically a targetable spell, unit or point target. I mean, it's for both. It's weird. Lots of pauses. You didn't warn me about these ones, High Sakura. You told me about the first games, which was like 20 seconds, but this one's really long. Need better info. Okay, now we're back. Now we're going.
Now the fight resumes.
It looks like Unique. This is going to hold up this high ground. They're not going to move.
Now.
Man, it's getting warm. It's too warm. Want nice cold weather that keeps my drinks fresh for longer. I think the lanes will probably have a bit more action than what we had in that first match. Yeah, I think the Lion Bloodseeker combo is pretty strong.
This Dota match.
I think the Lion can just pump out a bit more damage than what a Rubik can in the early parts. Not a huge, vast amount more, but I think he definitely can. Oh, looks like they're actually going to go for a 3-man setup at the very start here from PuckChamp. Want to try and maybe just grab a First Blood. As I guess if he's going to take Magic Missile first, and then with the Earth Spike, and then the Blood Right as well, so a lot of control. It will land the Blood Right, it will land the damage. But Carlos has hiding himself in the trees. Will they get the spot? They just got the vision on swim then. No, Slayer's immediately going to be the first one to get target up here. Blood Right leading off into the first stun, and this is just going to be First Blood easily getting given over here. Actually, is there the stick? It keeps him alive. One final right click, and it's actually enough. Astral gets the grab, and immediately the Venge just heads back down to the bot. They got what they wanted. First Blood. Once again, it actually goes into the position 4, just like game number 1, but at least this time it didn't get immediately traded off. Look at that. As soon as the Abaddon's not there, then it's able to apply a lot of pressure to space, force him off the creep wave. And there's already a double wave stacked up before anything else can really happen. Super early. At least Slayer was actually able to bring space his completed wand, which is something. It's definitely something. Correct. Actually, been kept at bay a fair amount. Doesn't want to get too close to Petty Char at this point. We'll see what his sort of skill priority is going to be. Not put anything into Sandstorm just yet. It's only a matter of time. But that's the thing I like about Sand King. There's a lot of sort of different ways you can skill this hero. Some people like to go with a lot of points into Caustic Finale in the lane. Others go in for the Sandstorm points. It does work. Oh, Magic Missile. Starting off onto Petishara. These Estus have sick. They're stacking up. This is such a free kill. He didn't even have to use any of his skills. Just right-clicks him down. And that's already a permanent agi on the board there for crit. Fantastic start. Well, how's this mid lane going? Young G 11-5 to the 7-2 of FN. So already built up a little bit of a lead. And both of them as well having their bottles ready in time for that first water rune spawn. So getting the full effectiveness out of the item. Always a nice start. It seems like maybe after that first sort of engagement, Unique are a little bit afraid in this lane now. I mean, now Petishar full HP, full mana though. He does have some stuff to play with. Maybe he will go for the Sandstorm as his 3rd level. Actually get a bit more utility out of the skill. But even still, the Slark's already on his level 3. Meanwhile, there's still about maybe a quarter of a level left for Petishara to get his. Nicely timed there on the Dark Pact from crit. Realised the stun was coming. Managed to purge off a fair amount of it. Not that it actually has that much of an impact at this point.
Denied.
So I wonder what the build is actually going to be here from FN. Is it going to be that classic Ags game? Or is he going to bring something else to the table here? He's got the bots queued up first item, but that is just pretty standard for mids. Like, every mid goes for Zambots this nowadays. Space looks like he's getting pressured a fair bit. He's still quite doing up there in terms of CS though. 18-2, 3rd on the chart at the moment. Despite the fact that he's always been kept pretty low. But he doesn't have any sort of tangos left now. Does have 9 stick charges as well as a Fairy Fire. That can only go so far in terms of providing you survivability. Oh, they're pinging him out. Double tree cut there from Astral. Leading up. The stun is going to be there. Slayer was just too far away to get the shield. And that's just a free kill. Space ends up dying. Slayer was too busy actually stopping the blocks. That was really well played there from Astral. Baits him out by trying to go for the creep grab. And then just goes for the kill instead, realizing the Abaddon would be away from the lane. Very nicely played. Space even just get hit by Bloodbride as soon as he spawns in. Obviously he was under effect of the well, but he was still nicely timed. But Young G definitely starting to pull away in terms of CS in this mid. 38-11 to the 13-2 of FN. He's just past his level 6. Meanwhile, FN still about half the level away. So it's not like an insurmountable difference in experience, but it's definitely a fair chunk. Young G even just making stacks at the same time. So just going to increase his farming speed later on. Maybe I'll even just like give it over to the Slark at some point. No actual stacks being made in the Ancients so far on the side of Team Unique, which is always going to be strong when you've got a Clinks on your squad. There's those Arrow Barrage. The Burning Barrage, sorry. This is so effective at cleaning up creep stacks. So Young G still actually had to queue something up. I assume it's going to be the bots. I don't really see where else he'll bother going for. It's just such standard meta. I mean, already, it's actually 600 gold difference And only 6 minutes into the game, it's a massive lead this early on. Ooh, meanwhile, up top, Slayer, he is getting gone. They're trying to get a trade here, focusing onto the line. The barrage is going to be enough damage. There, he just gets out the radius. And Melee actually gets a return kill onto Slayer. Now Eshel re-engaging there with the stun. Another Blood Right. Space could take a lot of damage to this, and Melee's just going to run him down underneath the tower. There's no way that Space could survive this. Actually does pop his stick, gives him a bit of survivability, but Melee's is not undeterred. He's still pressured in. There is going to be TP coming in from the Rubik, but it doesn't matter the stun. It gets the connection through the trees. They still find the grab, and now Bigham sat at the top lane himself. At least the TP is actually off the cooldown now for Space, so he's not going to get punished too hard. Maybe he's trying to go for some sort of aggressive play here onto Bigham. Ashel's got to be careful. He's very low HP. Yet again, another stun into the silence. Melee's going to go aggressive yet again. And this is another kill. Or is it? He needs to get the kill before the silence and it wears off. Bigham just turns around and gets the solo kill. Ashel was just too far away to actually lend any sort of damage. The barrage, not enough. It was just slightly off the mark. And Ashel able to limp himself away. Even still, nicely played there from Bigham. And just like that, he immediately skyrockets up to level 5. A full level over the top of his position 1 at this point. And at 7 minutes, that is pretty damn nuts. He'll have his ultimate at probably about minute 9 at this rate. That's pretty damn good for a +4 Rubik, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, missed that. Down bot. Crit into Carlos managed to find Petushara in the jungle. So there's another permanent agi stack there for the Slark. 2 online at 7.5 minutes in. Pretty good, pretty good. There's the bots queued up for Young G. He's about, how much is it? He's about 650 away. Meanwhile, FN, he's only about 400 away himself. But obviously, he has literally just gone straight in for the bots. He has absolutely nothing else apart from that bottle. Meanwhile, Young G did actually decide to invest some money into the Null Talismans. Just make his effective DPS just a little bit better these early parts in the game. I suppose it does actually end up ramping up your farming speed just a little bit. Maybe it does pan out nicely. The 8-minute rune ends up spawning down bot, allows FN to get it. Here's an arcane rune as well. Now, yeah, level 6 at 8 minutes in for Bigham. Takes the level 4 Dragon Slave as well. And immediately, him and FN going for a smoke play now. They are heading up towards the top side of the map. So maybe they want to run into either Melez or Astral. This is going to be a real lethal amount of damage pumping out from these guys. Oh, FN smoke does pop there, but it was actually in range. Well, coming in from the side, even the Mormon's Kiss gets immediately committed. Astral will just have to beat the sacrificial lamb here. But I think that's not too bad for Puck Champ there. That's 4 heroes from Team Unique just to get the kill onto the position 4, as well as Mormon's Kiss is used. So I don't think they're too sad about that. If they lost Melez, that would have been a different story. Even so, you know, a kill's a kill at the end of the day. It's not too bad, not too bad. But I mean, look at that. Space is actually bottom farmed core on the side of everyone. He's just the bottom core, no matter what. Below every single member of PuckChamp, even behind, well, actually still equal to his own Sand King now. The PuckChamp have actually just been doing a fantastic job of controlling this early game. Even finding a fair chunk of kills, 6 and 2. It was only due to the fact of that nice little play at the top there from Bigham that actually gave him any kills at all. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get a huge amount of use of this super early 6. I mean, they still can. I mean, it was also level 4 Dragon Slave, which is a fantastic skill to have at this stage in the game. It'll just pump out so much damage. It looks like Melee is pretty much going for exactly the same build that that Petushara done in game number 1. Going in for the Rod of Atos build. Oh, a little smoke play here from PuckChamp off to the side. The smoke breaks, the ward up on the high ground. Gets the spot and allows him to fall back. I don't think they were quite expecting them to step out that far forward. I think they even ends up taking the tome. I suppose actually they're both level 6, so may as well. Probably nearly take him up to his level 8. Looks like Meles will be able to clear up this top tier 1. I think Slayer wants to maybe try and come in for the tower deny. He will just kept held at bay. He can run to the trees. I mean, he does still have his 1 point left unspent that he can just put into his ultimate if he wants to. He may be forced to at this point, but I mean, this is only going to end up delaying the inevitable. He will just end up dying. They find that kill. And I think Laguna Blade's still the last skill they actually use. Okay, now use Drunk Steel. I was going to say, that would have been perfect time for Bignum to come in there with the steel, get the Laguna Blade for free. Still the finger left to use at all for Astral. And he's already on to his level 7. You see the way a couple of stacks made in the jungle there. There's still space. Now there's a couple of triple stack actually onto the Ancients using that barrage. Actually, no, it was a quad stack. Never mind. It's definitely going to give him a fair chunk of gold. It might even be just shy of completing his Maelstrom once he actually gets that next bit of cold injection. Ooh, we what? In the mid. Epicenter used, brings her forwards as well as the Warm's Kisses. Crit just gets melted down. That Slark stood no chance against the overwhelming amount of magic damage being pumped out from Team Unique there. Free food. Astral, is he going to go for the TP out? Just barely able to make it before Petushara got the scout. Well, let's go be a little bit careful though. FM with this haste rune, he's just going to chase after this Bloodseeker. Easily sets up the stun. And I think this could just be a dead man for sure. Petushara's blink off cooldown, jumper forwards, the stolen blood right. Silences him up before he can do anything in return. And another kill for Team Unique. They're bringing themselves back into this. Not that they were really out of it, but the lead is now just down to less than 1,000 gold. Just a couple of good moves. You can really start swinging the game around. And actually, just like that, the top three cores on the side of Unique push themselves high up there, but there's still Young G right at the top. This man is farmed as hell. Look how much money he's got compared to everyone else. Full 1,500 gold already, 12.5 minutes in. He's got his bots, 2 voids, and only 1,200 gold away from having BKB up as well. This man's going to be a real unit once he has that online. Astral wants to get a ward down this high ground. He does get the vision of Slayer there. I think this ward's just going to get denied out though, because I think Unique just pinged it out, the fact that they put it down. Oh, jump forward to Petushara is very aggressive there. But no response from PuckChamp to actually try and net that kill. He's able to walk it off. I still find it crazy how Maelstrom and like attack modifiers proc with the Burning Barrage. I think it's like per person that gets hit, right, has a chance of triggering it. So if you like do a barrage and hit 5 people, you can trigger like 5 Maelstroms, if I am correct. I could be completely wrong in that regard, but it is pretty bonkers. Ducalis. Let's just put some walls down and falls back. And good job he did. If he hung around, he would just end up dying, but fortunately Rim just pushes the reserve ward right underneath a sentry to get denied instantly. Ever seen Core IO in Clinks? No, I haven't actually. Why, what's that like? But the IO just buffs up like attack speed, right? I'm sure it doesn't matter for Clinks because it's set amount. The 25 talent? What, on the IO? IO hits everything. Oh! Of course. Oh, and that would work as well. The barrage would just hit like 10 people. Wow, that would be ridiculous. Astral actually just able to survive that little gank in the mid. Yeah, that sounds pretty nuts actually. You can actually just then get, like, if it gets to that stage of the game and the IO hits 25, you can just like buy a Maelstrom and stuff on him as well. And that would be pretty nuts. There'd just be lightning flying everywhere. I'd like to see that someday. That sounds pretty cool. It's still both cores just happily free farming away, doing their own thing. Still pretty neck and neck, only 40 gold separating the two of them. Crit going for a pretty standard build. Can Link move on? Yeah, go for it, man. I'll watch that for sure. That sounds quite nuts. So he's got his Echo Saber online, going in for the S and Y, pretty standard build. Space hasn't actually got anything queued up. Actually, he's got something coming out on the courier. Okay, he's got his completed Dragon Lance as well as the Maelstrom. Now, sometimes Clinks just go straight in for like a Daedalus now and just go for the pure damage output with the Barrage. We'll see what Space is actually going to prioritize, though. Maybe he might go in for a BKB, just give himself a little bit of defensive, because there is a huge amount of magic lockdown coming up from the side of the PuckChamp. But meanwhile, Aggressive move coming out from Unique. Just melts down Carlos, but it doesn't matter. They trade him off for Petty Shara. It's definitely a favourable trade for PuckChamp there. Even Crit's getting involved, charging forwards, decides to focus onto the Abaddon, but quickly changes his mind and falls back. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, but support for a core as well as the kill onto the tier 1 tower. Definitely a trade that PuckChamp be happy with. Just a 2k gold lead now. I'm not sure. There was a swap that got used from the Venge. I don't know who they swapped. Whether it was like an aggressive swap or a defensive one. Because he was still like around here, so it wasn't like he was too aggressively positioned. I'm not sure.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But Carlos actually, he's still going in for a 4-staff. I thought he would have just gone like straight for the Ags, but he is still going to play support. He's going to do his job. He's not going to be super greedy and just okay, like, screw you guys. Again, the Ags build. I'm going to have that infinite life. Screw you. Maybe he probably will still go in for it after he completes this up. He's not too far away from it. Maybe like 600 gold or something. Oh, another little move here from PuckChamp. Going onto the Dire side. And there's no wards to spot this move. And Crit, with his ultimate, would have been able to give any sort of read to say if they're under vision or not.
Radiant's top tower is in danger. Dire's courier has been killed.
Every single time I see a Slark play, I never see them with sentry wards, which I just don't understand. It's so good on Slarks.
Scanning for enemies.
Like, your ultimate just gives you natural observer ward detection. You put down the sentry, and then you get free, like, 200 gold plus experience. It's just absolutely nuts. No reason not to. Space, going for the TP. And they even invises, so Crit just walks straight past. Oh, I think he just got the source spot. Oh, yeah, because his ultimate would have changed there, so you saw that he would have had a hint that he was there. Meanwhile, Melez gets caught in the mid. All 5 heroes unique just collapse on top of him. We'll see if they might try and transition this into an actual objective take. Like, they've got epicenter to use. Petishard tried jumping forwards there onto Crit, I think. Couldn't find the connection. They're all still grouped up, but not really pushing forward for anything. FN also has got a BKB online himself. I'm still quite interested to see what the actual thinking behind this mid Snapfire is this game. Because like I said, when mid Snapfire was really popular, you'd get the Ags really fast and you just chuck your teammates left, right, and center and just make teamfights really hectic. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan is so far. Because he's not even gone for like any sort of DPS build, no Maelstrom or anything like that. Just purely defensive, even going for the Blink Dagger next. I'm sure he'll, the reasoning will make itself relevant soon. Ooh. The stun does get connection there onto Slayer, but with the borrowed time, easily able to disengage. Not too scared at all. Chrysalis online for Young G as well as his BKB, going straight in for the Daedalus. So, again, just purely focusing in towards the DPS style build. I think the Sanj is just coming out on the courier as well here for Crit. So maybe this could be a time for PuckChamp to try and make a move. It looks like they are actually grouping up as 4 here. Now I'm going to go for a smoke. I draw the line to wrap around into the jungle. There is actually a fair group of people here from Unique inside the... just at the edge of their jungle at the moment. Actually going to do a 3-man smoke themselves. But PuckChamp actually changed their direction. They headed straight up towards the top lane instead. But it looks like Unique are actually going to make the same move. Petshara leading the charge. His smoke will break down to Crit as well as there's the jump forward. He gets the stun onto 2, but it doesn't matter. The Dark Pact was there for Crit. He's going to be able to disengage that. But even still, a lot of damage on Young G. The defensive swap brings him to safety. Carlos will set up dying. Young G drops his ult. They have to disengage. Too much damage there from Team Unique, and they couldn't even bring anyone's HP down. The burst like actually ends up missing. Crit thinking about re-engaging there as well as the rupture just to hold him back. Young G wills to get the successful TP out. But I think Astral's going to be the one to die here. Melee's possibly as well. No, he's actually going to get safety TP out. So, Unique actually do come out on top. It's just killed onto the supports. But even still, it is a fight engagement that went into their favour. It was very close to Young G dying as well, but the save there from the Venge just in the nick of time. It was just a fantastic initiation for Petty Shara, getting the double stun onto the two main calls. Unfortunately for PuckChamp, they just grouped up, sat on top of each other. And they allowed that to happen. And just like that, probably not going to see another attempted team fight from either of these squads for a fair amount of time again. I mean, it's not like Unique even used any super big stuff. I mean, they did use Mortimer's Kisses, so that's going to be back up in 35. Maybe they might try and make another move then. Melis just moved himself in the jungle. We were just about to get the vision there onto Petushara, who snap blinks out. He's like, nope, I ain't hanging around. See you later. And crit. Yeah, he's got the spot there. There's a ward up there, so that should get dewarded pretty soon. Looks like maybe Unique want to keep this ward alive, though. Is anyone actually on the side of PuckChamp even have any sentries? I don't think they do. As long as he can be able to get the kill on set. Move up. Over the epicenter, drop there onto Melez. He will die. Poor man just gets 1v5'd. Or 5v1'd, I should say. No hope of surviving that. But that was actually both ultimates this time. Epi, as well as Mortimer's Kisses, gets popped there from Unique just to secure that kill. So the possibility that PuckChamp could maybe try and take a fight once this Bloodseeker's back online. Without those key ultimates on the side of Unique. I mean, Young G even getting pretty damn close to having his Daedalus up as well. He's only about 400 gold. 350, actually. I wonder if they're going to bother waiting for that. I mean, by the time he gets that online, both the ultimates from the Snap as well as the Sand King will be back. And they will just sort of lose their teamfight edge. Lester's not too worried about that. Actually going to go for a 3-man smoke this time. Leaving Melez up top farming away. And Young G just trailing behind. Still by the tier 1. Ooh. The smoke broke down to Carlos. The ward had already been taken out. I think he'd been dewarded. Like, denied, actually. Carlos actually sitting himself in the pit. Are they going to try and go for this? This crit. They'll just scan around the side, make sure there's no observer wards on the side of Unique actually in the area. But even still, 4-man smoke coming out here. They're actually going to see Crit's the perfect target. Actually jump straight past it. Just get the solo stun onto Astral. I think it was a little bit of a misplay there. Crit able to get his ult off. Even the Rupture gets dumped onto space, holding him back. So he's going to be able to not be able to actually dish out that much damage. The Fox Shield though, allowing Petushara to disengage. Daedalus just been delivered from Young G, but no one actually ends up getting caught. Now Unique actually want to try and re-engage this. Epi, everything else online, jump forwards yet again. Soda stun onto Melis. Where's the BKB there for FN? Jumping in deep. The save from Carlos, so bringing him back. Meanwhile, the Petushara gets annihilated from Young G. This right click's hurting so much space. I think he's going to die as well. He does. The finger from Astral getting the finish. The finger does get stolen though from Biglam, but that's a very sour consolation prize. They lose 3 heroes in return, and they don't get anything out of that at all. That did not go the way they wanted. And now it's just going to be free roam in the favour of PuckChamp as well. And this could just be the first big lead of this game being formed right now. Looks like they're actually going to give the Aegis over towards Young G as well. As I think really at this stage of the game, he is the main source of DPS for their squad. And a lag apparently from PuckChamp. And it's decided to look real scary now for Team Unique. I think, well, when the Slark's in the game, they're like 3,000 gold behind. I think that's what it said.
Excellent idea.
And I'm still just sort of confused about what this core Snapfire is meant to be. Like now he's building into the Chrysalis, but you've got all this sort of net worth, which isn't amplifying their DPS at all. It's sort of just heavily reliant on their teamfight combo of the Epi and the Mortimer's Kisses and the damage that the Clinks is able to pump out. Which can be a fair amount if they get the correct engagement, but yeah, I think that might have just been a misplay, to be honest, from Petushara. Like, he was right here, right? He was right here. There was the Slark there. There was Ducalis and the Lion. So both the sports, he could have got a triple burrow, but instead he blink daggered forward, went for the solo stunt onto the Lion. In which case, that just left the Slark to just sort of keep the rest of Team Unique at bay, and allowed PuckChamp just to focus down the Sand King, just managed to survive. But even still, it just sort of swung the whole fight into their favour. All they need is that key bit of initiation. They just couldn't quite find it. Very unfortunate for them. Damn it, my drink is warm. Ah, should have got some ice. Weak. So the Ag Shard is queued up next for the Clinks. It's always pretty good. 2 free skeletons. Chucks out a bit of extra damage. Is the Lotus Orb queued up next for the Sand King, which will help against quite a few spells actually from the side of PuckChamp. Now the game will resume.
That should help. Ought to take care of this thing, right?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I think Unique can have to be really cautious about how they play their next few team fights. Like, if they just end up losing an engagement the same way they did in that previous one, then I don't know, this game's going to get real goddamn tough for them. Real tough. I mean, they do actually have level 2 Finger. They've got that in the hands of Bignum. If they can actually find a really nice kill with this, it won't be too bad. Like, if they go for a smoke, try and get the pick off onto Crit, because he doesn't actually have the Aegis. They gave it over to the Lena instead. If they can find that, it'll work quite nicely. But I mean, Crit is playing it super safe. Doesn't even want to stick around and get the catapult. Just TP's up top to join the rest of a couple of members of his team. It gives him some security. And it's a good job he did, because every single member of Unique was down here ready to pounce on him. Satanic up next for Young G. I mean, he's already got a fantastic amount of damage output. But actually, the Hex was there onto FM, but the re-engagement, and there's the finger from Biglum. Just annihilates Astral with his own spell. That's real salt in the wound. I don't think there's enough duration left on this spell still, though, to actually keep it alive for another round. So duration, 240 seconds. It's got about a quarter of that left. So he's got 1 minute left of the spell. And yeah, okay, so it's not going to be enough for the finger to actually be used, say, a second time. Which is always unfortunate, but hey. It's quite nice. Young G just barrages the tier 2 on his own. Ends up clearing out another tower. And now that tier 2's off, the first outpost of the game can be taken away. And PuckChamp can start securing that XP lead into their favour even more. Great, it's the same bits right behind space. Good aside initially onto him. Perishaw immediately popping the epicenter. Wants to give a little bit of space to his carry. Jumping forwards, gets the stun to Young G, but only does about half his HP. Meanwhile, Crit is chasing away the Abaddon now. There is going to be the telekinesis chuck back from Bignum, makes some space. And it looks like no one else on the side of Unique will get caught out from this. They should all be able to survive.
Tower is under attack.
Space already back up to full HP just after one use of the Death Pact. And I did also, again, cost the epicenter. Down for another 80 seconds. So an opportunity once more for PuckChamp to take the advantage and move into it with one of the big ultimates on the cooldown and the Aegis still in the hands of the Lena. I mean, she doesn't have much mana. She's going to go back and heal up. They've got to be careful that they have no Lena for this fight. It's a 5 versus 4. Immediately, Menace gets caught out. Telekinesis before start trying to bring him to safety, but it's not going to be enough. Crit as well. He's in deep underneath everybody. They don't realize he's here. Maybe he's thinking about starting on someone, but that'd be a very risky play indeed. So unfortunately for them, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Team Unique able to capitalize on that, netting that free kill. Both teams finding the blast rig as well. I think that's slightly... I mean, it's not that great actually for either side. Like, Unique have no melee cores that they really care about, given that miss evasion too, and the Slark will just use his Dark Pact and purge it off. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Blast Rig kind of wasted this game. Normally, I think it's a super strong neutral item.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
And Crit, thinking that the Clinks was heading down towards the bomb, they actually end up doing a U-turn. Think you better find anyone. Just ends up running around the trees. Menace actually is keeping the blast ring though. I mean, actually, it gives +8 armor, which is useful against the physical damage being pumped out from the clinks. Does give him survivability in that, but the skill is kind of useless. Actually, mind you, 300 damage is still good, but it's only going to come in from like the Abaddon or the Sand King. The final tier 1 there from Team Unique gets taken away. They were sort of prepared in case PuckJamp tried to press their luck and go for a tier 2 as well. But again, they just fall back in the nick of time.
Money to burn.
Aegis, though, about to be reclaimed in just a few seconds. I mean, he's already got enough to finish up his Satanic, though, so Youngji doesn't even mind that much. But it's Unique always moving around this 5-man unit. It's not really giving them any space to try and farm up, but it is giving them a nice bit of security. No one's going to potentially get caught out and then push themselves further behind in this game. It's a good bit of discipline. That's me. Cheeky sneeze. In space. Working towards the Ags next.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Given that burning army. Can be quite nice in team fights if they get the correct engagement. But I mean, obviously, if you could just disengage from it, it feels a lot less effective. I just thought maybe he might have just decided to complete his Daedalus first and then go for the axe. I feel like that would be a little bit of a better choice. But instead of actually, the jump forward, Petishar has to go for the Blink Dagger backwards there because Crit and Astral leading the charge. Astral just gets focused on for the few right clicks from space and down goes the line super easy. Meanwhile, the Abandon made a bit of space. At least big numbers get caught from the side there from Crit. So at least they do find a support trade. It looks like they're actually going to find a 2-for-1. The Slayer gets caught off behind behind the high ground. Oh no, an FN. He even gets caught as well. What was he still doing there? Actually, his TP was on cooldown for another 25 seconds. There's no chance for him to escape. And just like that, it's a 3-for-1 trade. And immediately, PuckJamp team TP up to the outpost as a squad to try and now take down this tower. Now actually going to find the initiation onto space as well. The BKB onto Youngji is going to find the stun collection. And down he goes. He's gone. As well as Petishar. They both end up dying. Double kill for Youngji with this double damage. And every member of Unique is gone. There is a buyback available for the Clinks as well as the Sand King. But even still, the glyph gets used just to try and defend it for a little bit, but it doesn't even get the kill onto the entire creep wave, so the backdoor protection will not come back up. And this is just going to be a whole set of barracks gone. Fortunately for Team Unique, because they still got their mid and bottom tier 2 left intact, so they couldn't end up losing 2 barracks for that. That would have been really, really costly. But it looks like PuckJamp, they're going to try and go for it anyway. The towers just die so goddamn quickly. And there's still another 30 seconds without the Clinks. They might be able to try and force a buyback, but they've got to be careful. Sand King as well as the Snapfire up in just a few seconds, and they've both got their ultimates to use. Youngji though still pushes himself up onto the high ground. There is going to be the Hex to get the grab onto Petishara, but even still, Youngji lays a couple more hits. Will fall back. Warmer's Kisses finally gets drops, but it doesn't matter. PuckJamp are already gone. The ultimate just gets completely wasted. Quite surprised there was no tips coming out there. Actually, I don't think there's been a single tip this whole series. Both of these two teams, very respectful. And now 12k gold lead in the favour of PuckJamp. Whole set of barracks as well as tier 3 gone. And it's looking extra scary now for Team Unique. Roshan, relatively long respawn timer though, 2 more minutes. As I'm sure that's going to be the next main objective for PuckJamp to secure. Team Unique, they cannot let that fall. If they let that given over towards PuckJamp for free without being contested at all, it could just be game over already. Pickham's like, don't even finish off that sentry. I don't even care. Leave it. That could end up costing them. You know, if the Clinks is like right underneath that tower and he gets caught out, it would be so funny, but that sentry could actually end up costing him. There's 3 tips off a Morph Metal. This is Gyro. Oh, yes, there was actually, wasn't there? I remember. Yeah, he killed the Eye, but then the Gyro just shredded him. You got a good memory. Much better than mine. Oh, the sentinel gets placed. They see crit. They do get telekinesis as well as follow-up stun. Crit just could be dead. He gets his ultimate, but again, it doesn't matter. The burning barrage just goes straight through the ultimate, dealing all the damage. Melee's even gets caught out as well. 2 quick kills for Team Unique, not losing anybody. And they want to try and pressure to see if they get something else. Unfortunately for them, Roshan's still gone for another 40 seconds. There will be about a 30-second window where there's not going to be a Slark when it's up. Maybe they could try and get that kill in that little period of time, but they have to be in the Roche pit as soon as it spawns to get that read.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We'll see if anyone's going to do the sacrifice or just sitting in the pit. Looks like Slayer will be the one. Is he going to move out? That is the question. Another 12 seconds. 10, 9, 8. He's going to move. He's going to move. Oh. He moved! I knew it! Oh, it doesn't matter. Bignum finds it though. But even so, every single time, it's like some sort of curse that Roshan has. As soon as you leave the pit, it spawns. It's so bizarre. But yeah, they're going to move right in there, get this kill for easy, freeze, and now it's going to be a pretty big advantage to their favour. Aegis as well as the shard. And also who they're going to give the shard over to. Those are they've given over towards the Abaddon? No, they gave over towards the Sand King. So now Unique are actually in a pretty good standing for this game. Actually, the aggressive swap there from Takalis, bringing the click straight back, just gets annihilated for the right clicks there from Melina. Absolutely eviscerated. Meanwhile, Crit is just playing around with the Sand off the side, and then immediately almost sudden space. He's gone again! Just absolutely eviscerated. No support could come in for the rest of his team. Looked like Petushara did manage to avoid Crit, but unfortunately Slayer not going to be so fortunate. And just like that, Unique had the advantage. They could actually start bringing themselves back into this game, but PuckChamp slap them down. They say, hell no, get back into your place. And this could just be the game over. Oh, well, maybe not over, but they're going to take a lot of structural damage because of this. They could actually push on tier 3s, and they are. They're going straight for the tier 4s. There's no clicks for 45, no buyback available. He's 1,400 gold away. Crit just beating into the buildings because he wants extra money. Petashara popping the epicenter, charging forward onto Young G. They get the stun, they get all the swap there. He gets to the safety as well as the follow-up stun. Petashara is separated from the rest of his team. The All Scepter is going to keep him alive for now, but only going to delay the inevitable, surely. The Ghost Scepter as well. He will fall. Immediately going to buy back though. There is going to be a glyph to keep this alive for another 20 seconds before the Clink is alive. Can Team Unique hold on? Can they keep the dream alive? Another stun falls at Perishara. They get the kill into Ducalis. It's going to cost FN his life. Perishara as well. He gets annihilated. That was not worth it. Crit does get pretty low, but there's nothing they could do to stop this. Their Ancient is going to fall. Godlike spree from Young G to finish it up. The triple stun holds them back. But even still, they come out on top. Well played to PuckChamp yet again. Just schooling Team Unique. And Team Unique have been looking pretty dominant in this region so far, but PuckChamp showing up and taking them out 2-0. Really, really nicely played. Oh, that was so unfortunate though. Like, Team Unique, they had a glimmer of hope. They killed the Slark, they killed the Bloodseeker, they got the Aegis, and then they just immediately died. So, that's like demoralizing, that is. And the fact that the Clinks didn't even have buyback, oh, it's just insult to injury. Not good. Not good at all. Even still, well played to PuckChamp, taking it 2-0. Not like dominant fashion, but they definitely were on top. Young G didn't even die a single time that game. Obviously, that was just due to Ducalis. He was always on it with his swaps in the right place at the right time. And he only even died 4 times himself, which is ridiculous for a position 5 Venge to only die 4 times. That's pretty nuts. I suppose it just shows that his cores aren't always in super deadly positions. They're playing relatively safe themselves. Yeah, even still, I don't think there's any other games from this league today. There is an ESL games going on. There's not another match for 2 hours, so can't do that one just yet. Might be able to do it later on. What time is that going to start? 7. It starts at 8 p.m. Is it a best of 3? Oh, it's a best of 2. I could do that one. I'll have to wait and see how the mood strikes me. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this series, please think about like, subscribe, and following on my Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Any help I can get, I thoroughly appreciate.